Hi everyone, this is AnatomicArt, and I'll be giving some of my brief thoughts on today's book, which is Mond, The Art of Neon Genesis Evangelion by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. So just a little background on Mr. Sadamoto. So he is a manga illustrator and artist, obviously, and he's one of the founding members of Studio Gainax, which is, of course, the studio that made Evangelion and some other animes. So most of his art in this book is featured, of course, on Evangelion, which is the name of the book. But some of the illustrations towards the end do bring out some of his other works that he's worked on from, I think, some video games and also some other advertisements and stuff he's worked on. But one of the main things that is my favorite characteristic of his work is the way how saturated his photos are, or it's the way his saturated his illustrations are, of just how bright and colorful they are. Like looking at some of these, looking at the reds and the greens and the blues, looking at these like two pictures of Asuka and Rei, or the one with the mech in the background, the Eva. Looking at this blue here where Rei is like camouflaged in the background, and then also here with this purple. Just mainly the way these colors are saturated, but also the way that a lot of these photos are one-toned, where the entire picture is almost one color, and the way that the foreground and the background both blend together. Another thing about Mr. Sadamoto's work that's really interesting and stylistic is the way that he chooses to pose and give characteristics to characters in the way that he poses them. Right now, we're looking at some of the spreads of the manga, but here looking at some of the pictures of Asuka, or the way that, let's say this one is lower, tilted up to give Asuka more of a stronger portrayal that matches her character. Again, here they were seeing some smiling character, which is of course something that you never see in Evangelion. But another thing to bring up is how Mr. Sadamoto, of course, chooses to portray women in his pictures, in his illustrations, with if we can actually put a pin in that conversation, that picture that just passed by at 2:52 with Rei and the red from End of Evangelion. That is my favorite illustration of his. When I went to Japan a few years ago, I caught that illustration on a sticker in an alley, and I was just like, I stopped dead in my tracks when I saw it, because of how beautiful it was, with, like we were talking about earlier, brought everything together with saturated colors and the one-toned, and then also the way that Rei was posed in that illustration. We just saw breezed through some behind the scenes character illustrations. Now, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we're looking at some behind work of other, from video games and other medias. But again, revisiting what I was talking about earlier, the way that he portrays women, then that is inherent to how Evangelion is, with the tight suits and all that. But just again, more stylized, something that makes his work stand out against the backdrop of other artists. Soon we'll be coming up on a section of showing all the works in the book, and then with little citations from Sadamoto, where it shows whether the piece was done by hand, drawn by hand on pen and paper, whether it was done digitally, or like through Photoshop or another program, and then also some comments from him. So those pages, it's like 2 pages or 4 pages, and they're really small to read, so if you want to zoom in, but a lot of those pages have some great insight. And a lot of these works are from various, like the span of a few years while he was working, so you kind of get an idea of here's of what I was talking about. But you kind of get to see his style develop a little bit. And in the Afterword, actually, he goes into this a little bit, where when he right here where he talks about how even though he's looking through these pictures or these images, he's not really happy with the work that he made because he doesn't think that it represents the way that his style has developed, and that he thinks it's rather harmful for an artist to go over one period in their life constantly over and over again. Well, thank you for listening and flipping along. Let me know what your thoughts you had with this book, and I'll see you guys in the next flip through.